Church Avenue and Rogers Avenue.
Thank you. Have a good day. Appreciate it. All right. So you guys heard my key shaking. I had to take my keys out because they have one of the Sambos out there. And, you know, I talk about being targeted on the streets. You know how they have people stationed on the sidewalks, right? Targeting me. You know what I'm saying? And so this is what I talk about. You know, I got to get the bus to go back one stop because I forgot I got to. Yeah, look, the New York Predators Dept. Right, yeah, another white woman again. See, contingencies for contingencies. So I was in my phone, I forgot that and I really forgot, but I didn't really look up to realize, what stop that was until the bus drove off and the announcement of the next stop. I was like, oh shit, I gotta get off because I gotta pick up my medicine. But this is what they'll do, right? In order to kind of talk about suspicions. Look, number 32 white woman, windows down, LXR 7732. When I talk about movement, army precision, and getting civilians involved in targeting and training them with military precision in terms of how to engage in covert operation, right? This is what I'm talking about, okay? Where's the New York Predators Dept? Oh, they're driving very slow. I want them, let me see if there's a bus coming. Oh yeah. Oh, where you going? Are you turning? Okay. You see that hesitation move? Yeah. Got y'all motherfuckers. Fuck you. 4558. All right. The New York Predators Dept, the white racists, the Zionists that have infected the government, the police, our community, the liars, and basically manipulating black people using technology to make them believe that it's God. Like I said, black people are the most brain damaged, brain dead people on this planet. Not black people, Nigerians, I should say. Right? Religion has totally fucked up their minds, particularly Christianity, because Christianity don't teach them to stand up and fight like every other group do. Christianity teaches them to get on their knees and pray, right? Meanwhile, their lives being destroyed, their children's future being destroyed, and all they think about is, saving their children, that Jesus is going to come back and save their children. These white people are not worrying about that, right? These white races are not worrying about that. They're worrying about displacing you. They're worried about moving into your community and driving you out of the community that you grew up in. Matter of fact, I can't even say it's your community because we don't even own most of the businesses, the housing in those communities that we live in. And that's a fact. And the one thing that they don't want us to do. And you see, what they'll do now is use people who have, these are amputees. So of course, these has disability, but so do I. You know what I'm saying? Again, there are many different kinds of disability that that people have, that is caused by the state also. And again, when you can prove these things, they try to make it seem as if, it can be proven, right? Oh yeah, you're looking at the basement. Yeah, fuck you. And again, just to make you understand the surveillance within our community, right? Watching us since we were younger, right? To do what? To destroy any potential leader within the black community. And Sambos and Sambinos, Negropeans and Asiapeans, I should say, Hispanopeans, Negropeans, Asiapeans, Hispanopeans, in love with whiteness. And it is that love of whiteness that has been to our destruction, because they don't love us. They don't even respect us. All right? I talk about the deplorable conditions that they have us living in for decades, particularly in New York, Brooklyn, Manhattan, the Bronx, where most of the landlords are Jewish, and they are some of the biggest slumlords. And then you have the housing. So you have not only the private sector, but also the public sector, public housing, having black women and black children living in apartments that is poisoned with lead, don't even have a door, right? Elevator's not working. It is purposeful and it is intended. But we, right, I should say, but the niggerpeans and their dumbasses believe that somehow that God is, going to save them, right? I want you to understand, the most evil person in that Bible they read is their God. Right? And anyone wants to have a dispute on that, they can dispute me on it, because they're going to lose. Whether they want to dispute me on it or not, they're going to lose. But you know what they're going to do? They're going to make excuses for their God. Well, no one can question God. Well, if I come and if a person come and they walk into a church and they say, God told me to slaughter all the, the black people because his God told him to do so, right? What you going to say? Because that's what they use, right? When the KKK was burning crosses on black people's lawn, Black American lawn, 7332. Oh yeah, 324. Remember, it's all orchestrated. Technology. Don't be fooled. Don't think it's supernatural, because again, that's something that's a European made-up term to manipulate you and I. While they're heavy into using technology, right? We're into heavily believing. And that will be our downfall unless we wake up and realize, as Garvey said, we become a highly technical people and develop a militaristic mindset, right? That is the state of our people today, where the majority of our people are Sambos and Sambinas, and the religious bullshit that they practice is what will be their downfall. And they refuse to listen. They refuse to listen because the indoctrination of a religion created by white people, white Europeans at the time, the elites, and they try to claim it as their religion. But if they go study it, they'll see. Most people that go study the Christian religion end up not becoming or moving away from the religion. Of course it's Friday. Of course it is. Yeah, of course it's Friday.
You sure?
But anyway, on my video, as I said, most black people are at the bottom because of the love of religion and because they're waiting on Jesus. Right? That's why black people have zero wealth in America. Sure, yeah. Don't mind me, I'm just talking, doing a video. Hitting them with the truth they don't want to hear. Most black people have been conditioned with religion, and it is to their detriment. Right? They're not thinking about the future of their children. That they think that their children is going to be saved by some God or some Jesus. When white people have saved up $124 trillion to give to their young people in the next decade and a half. And that's a fact. Right? Then a few years after that, black people in America will have zero wealth. We'll be in a worse condition than we are today. They're not worrying about that. They're not thinking about that. Right? The biggest business in the black community is the black churches. And they ain't doing shit for black people, period. Their pastors are living well beyond their means because their constituents, or those their members, are the ones that are making their lives better. It ain't God or Jesus. It's the people that go to the church and give their hard-earned money to these pastors who are driving Mercedes-Benz and have houses while their members living in poverty, right? I have to apply for welfare and so forth. They're not teaching our children anything except to pass on the same indoctrination, right? And they're ignoring it. They're ignoring the reality of what it is that's today, because they always say it's God's will. Well, it just shows you that white people God is not your God. Because if their God can tell them to save up $124 trillion for their future generations, and your God is telling you to keep praying, then who's the dumbass? Who's the dumbass? Then maybe you should truly follow the white man God. Maybe you should do what he does. Right? Because your God is just going to keep you in suffering, going to keep you poor, going to keep you fighting amongst each other. Right? And that's the reality. You can't ignore that, but they will. They will. It's the reason why I do my videos. Wake my people up. Understand what's going on. Understand how they're dumbing down our children. Understand how they dumb us down. And it's something that they can never dispute because the evidence is clear. Black children fail in state and city exam more than any other group of children. Right? More than any group of children. Now here's something to think about black people. When Africans come over here, their children excel in school, particularly when they come over here in their later years. You want to know why? Because of the education they receive early on in their childhood. That's why. Right? The study habits. Right? The advanced math, advanced science. Go look it up. Children from Africa, particularly when they come over here in their teenage years to go to college, they excel. They excel. And our children are born from the time they're newborn to the time they're 3, they are the most advanced. That's a fact. Look at the research, look at the science. Black children from newborn to 3, they excel more than any other group of children. But the minute they get into preschool, then you start to see a sharp decline in learning abilities, right? Because the school system is designed to stop and to degrade their intelligence. They got to keep us dumb and stupid for them to continue to do what they do to us. And religion is a big part of it. Religion keeps us stupid, keeps us ignorant. Right? Many of the terms and the words that we use, we don't even quite understand where they came from or what they truly mean. Just heard the brother behind me saying blessed. If you go look up the etymology of the word blessed, it means be less. Okay? It means be less. But you ever hear the wealthy people say that I'm blessed? No, they never say that. Only poor black people say that. Right? And white people say it to us because they understand what it means. And we don't. The word blessed means be less. Right? So that's why you get a little bit of money. They say, oh, I'm blessed. No, you're not blessed. Right? You're accepting less. You think less is something that you should be proud of. Okay? You think because you got a job and they paying you $15 an hour that you're blessed. No. No. All right? When white people get a job and it's paying them $25 an hour or $30 an hour, you get a job paying $50 an hour, you think you're blessed. That's the difference. Right? Blessed means to be less. Wealthy white people never say that they are blessed. Right? They don't do that because they understand, they're educated. Right? They know the etymology of words. They know how they change words to manipulate us, to make us think that we're doing something when we're not. Right? Now here's another example. Black people will be happy when their children are named Rogue Scholars. Cecil Rhodes killed over 1 million South Africans, and yet we celebrate this man because some of our young people become Rogue Scholars. Right? Every murderers of our people, they get us to celebrate. But yet we can't celebrate Nat Turner. We can't celebrate Dessalines. Right? We can't celebrate the black people that fought against white people. We can't celebrate them because why? They will punish us. Even to this day. Right? They keep saying Napoleon is the greatest general of all time, but Napoleon got defeated by enslaved Africans. 2 of the greatest generals in modern history. They don't teach you about that. They keep talking about Napoleon. But how can he be the greatest and be defeated by enslaved Africans? Right? And how come they never tell you about how it is because of the Haitian Revolution is the reason why you have the American Revolution? They don't tell you that, right? The reason why they don't talk about Thomas Paine, who was a white man at the time, is because he is called the father of the American Revolution. But the reason why they don't teach you about Thomas Paine is because he was not a religious man. Okay? He was not a religious man. They took people who didn't believe in religion, right, who look at the Africans, yeah, they were still racist. But that inspired them. African freedom and the defeat of a mighty power is what made white America think at the time that they can defeat the great British Empire, and they did. Right? See, we are the dumb ones. We are the stupid ones, and we continue to pass on that dumbness and that stupidness to our young people. Right? You continue to create and raise up cowards. Well, we will send them off to fight in a white man war based off of lies, based off of his greed, based off of his manipulation. When it comes to teaching your kids self-defense, putting them in self-defense classes for the war that they're planning for us, they've been saying that they're going to start a race war for the longest while. We've just been ignoring it. This is only first phase. This is only first phase what you're seeing today. It's only first phase. You understand history, you understand the mindset of Europeans, then you understand that this is the first phase. But you see, they understand our minds because they give us our minds. We're educated under their system, so they know exactly how we think. They got our young people as generation stupid. They're degrading out their mind. Wake up, my people. Anyway, talk to you guys next video.